You're standing at the edge of your potential, but you've got one obstacle standing in your way. Your mind. It's telling you, you can't do this. But guess what? That voice isn't you. It's your weakness trying to hold you back. Today, we crush that weakness. Today, you learn how to train your mind to overcome anything. Are you ready to break through in life? The biggest battles you'll ever face won't be physical. They'll be mental. The mind is where success is won or lost. If you want to level up, to rise above, to be unstoppable, your mind has to be your greatest ally. It's time to strengthen that mental muscle, to silence the doubt, and to push past the limits. This isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving against all odds. Your mind is constantly in motion, bombarded by thousands of thoughts each day. The unfortunate reality for many is that these thoughts are often negative, critical, and limiting. From the moment you wake up, your mind can easily convince you that you're not good enough, that your dreams are too far out of reach, that you're destined for mediocrity. But here's the thing, those thoughts aren't you. They're simply the product of your environment, your past experiences, and the constant bombardment of external influences. You have the power to challenge them, to replace them, and to take control of what's running through your mind. The key to mastering your inner dialogue is understanding that you are the gatekeeper. You control what enters and what stays. If you allow negativity to take root, it will grow. If you entertain doubts and fears, they will shape your actions, and your actions will ultimately define your reality. But if you actively choose thoughts of strength, of confidence, and of victory, your life will reflect that mindset. Every day you face choices in your mind, whether to believe in your limitations or in your potential, whether to let self-doubt dictate your decisions or to push through with courage and resolve. You have to recognize that every negative thought is a challenge, a moment of resistance that you must overcome. It's a fight, but it's a fight that you can win as long as you're willing to put in the effort to do so. When fear creeps in, when doubt begins to whisper in your ear, don't let it dominate your thoughts. Don't give it the power to control you. Instead, you need to flip the script. Replace those negative thoughts with affirmations of your strength and capabilities. Tell yourself, I can do this. I am capable. This challenge will make me stronger. Your mind can't focus on two opposing thoughts at the same time, so when you fill it with empowering statements, it has no room to entertain the negativity. The power of your inner dialogue lies not just in what you say to yourself, but in what you do with those thoughts. When you change your internal narrative, you start to take different actions. You move differently, you speak differently, and you make decisions that align with your true potential. If you believe that you can succeed, you will act as if success is inevitable. You'll take bold steps, even when faced with fear or uncertainty. You'll push yourself harder because you understand that every obstacle is simply an opportunity to grow stronger. Your thoughts lead your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. Mastering your inner dialogue doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice, a daily discipline that requires constant vigilance. You have to be aware of the thoughts that are swirling in your mind at all times. When negativity enters, you can't just let it sit there. You need to challenge it, dismiss it, and replace it with something more empowering. Over time, this will become second nature. The stronger your inner dialogue becomes, the more resilient you'll be in the face of challenges. Your mind will no longer be a battlefield, but a fortress of strength and resolve. The reality is simple. You get what you believe, and you get what you think about most. If your mind is filled with negativity, that's what you'll experience. But if you train your mind to focus on possibilities, on your own power, and on your vision for success, that's exactly what you'll start to see in your life. The strength of your inner dialogue is directly linked to the strength of your reality. You're the one who controls the narrative, so take charge of your thoughts and watch your life transform. Mental strength isn't something that magically appears. It's earned through challenges, faced in moments when it feels like the world is against you. It's forged in the heat of discomfort, in the fire that burns when you push beyond the limits of what you thought was possible. The simple truth is this: if you want to grow, if you want to become the best version of yourself, you have to seek discomfort. You need to welcome the struggle. You cannot expect to become mentally strong by taking the easy road, by avoiding challenges or staying in a space that's familiar and comfortable. That's not how greatness is achieved. Greatness is achieved when you learn to thrive in adversity, to flourish when the pressure is on, to keep moving even when your body and mind scream for you to stop. Discomfort is the fuel that drives mental growth. It's easy to avoid difficult situations, to look for the path of least resistance, but this is the very thing that will stunt your growth. Comfort breeds complacency, and complacency breeds mediocrity. You need discomfort to grow. Your mind and body need it to evolve. When you find yourself in a tough situation, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, instead of shying away, take a deep breath and step into it. Every challenge you face is like a weight in the gym, slowly building your strength. It may feel heavy at first, but as you continue to push through, you start to notice your capacity increasing. What once felt unbearable starts to feel like second nature. Adversity isn't your enemy, it's your greatest ally in disguise. Think about the times in your life when you've faced tough situations. What did you learn? How did you grow? Chances are you gained something invaluable in those moments. When life tests you, when things don't go your way, you're being prepared for something greater. Every obstacle, every setback is an opportunity for you to become mentally stronger. You might not realize it in the moment, but when you push through those difficult times, you are training your mind to think bigger, to act with more purpose, to make better decisions, and to develop the resilience you need to handle anything life throws at you. But here's the catch. You have to lean into that discomfort. Don't shy away from it. Don't run. The mind is a powerful tool, but it only grows stronger when you challenge it. When you push yourself beyond your limits, your brain learns new ways to cope, to adapt, to overcome. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes manageable, and the next challenge feels just a little bit easier. You become a warrior, not because you've never faced difficulties, but because you've learned how to thrive in the midst of them. When you embrace discomfort, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You start becoming the architect of your own destiny. You're no longer controlled by fear or anxiety about what lies ahead. Instead, you see every challenge as a chance to refine your character, to build your mental toughness, and to expand your capacity for success. So, the next time you're faced with a difficult task, a tough moment, or a setback, don't retreat into comfort. Step forward, embrace the discomfort. And remember, this is where the real transformation happens. Your emotions are like an untamed force, capable of building you up or tearing you down depending on how you harness them. They are powerful, there's no doubt about that. Anger, fear, frustration, these emotions can feel overwhelming, like they're in the driver's seat of your life. But the truth is, emotions don't have to control you. You have the power to control them. It's all about shifting your mindset and taking command of the internal storms that often rage inside you. The moment you allow emotions like fear or frustration to dictate your actions is the moment you lose your power. It's when you let those feelings drive your decisions that you start to make choices based on temporary states rather than long-term goals. Mental strength is built on the ability to separate yourself from those emotions. You can feel them, anger, frustration, fear, but you don't have to act on them. You don't have to let them control your actions or your behavior. Mentally strong people don't suppress emotions. They don't pretend they don't exist. Instead, they acknowledge them and then they direct them. When you're angry, instead of letting that anger burn you up and cause rash decisions, you channel it. Anger, when harnessed properly, can become fuel for action. That frustration you feel when things aren't going your way, it can become the very energy that drives you to push harder, to rise above, but only if you control it, not the other way around. Fear, too, is a powerful emotion that can either paralyze you or propel you. When you're afraid, the body responds with a fight or flight mechanism that can send you into panic. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they react in the face of fear. The mentally strong don't let fear control them. They acknowledge it, confront it, and use it as a signal to move forward. Fear is often a sign that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, and that's exactly where growth happens. Embrace it. Step into it. You are stronger than the fear that tries to stop you. The ability to remain calm under pressure is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. When the world around you is chaotic, when everything seems to be falling apart, the mentally strong are the ones who stand firm. They keep their heads clear. They make decisions from a place of clarity, not emotion. It's easy to make rash decisions when you're overwhelmed with emotions, but those decisions often lead to regret. When you can detach yourself from the storm inside and remain calm, you'll be able to think strategically and make choices that align with your bigger vision. It's about mastering your internal state. You don't have to let your emotions dictate your life's course. Instead, train yourself to respond, not react. Responding is intentional, it's calculated, it's based on logic and purpose. Reacting is impulsive, driven by immediate emotions. Responding with clarity, strength, and focus is what separates the winners from the losers. The key to mental strength is not ignoring or suppressing emotions. It's about understanding them and using them to fuel your success. The more you practice this, the more you'll find that your emotions no longer control you. You control them. You control your focus, your response, and your future. And once you've mastered that, there is nothing that can stand in your way. If you're serious about becoming mentally strong, you cannot afford to settle for anything less than excellence. It's not just about achieving goals, it's about holding yourself to a higher standard every single day. This is what separates winners from those who never truly unlock their potential. The most successful, the most mentally resilient individuals are those who refuse to tolerate mediocrity in any area of their life. When you set unbreakable standards, you set the bar for yourself higher than anyone else ever will. And that bar doesn't get lowered, no matter how tough the journey becomes. You are not here to be average, you're not here to blend in with the crowd. Mediocrity is the enemy of progress, and the moment you allow it to creep into your life, you've lost the battle before it even begins. Setting high standards means committing to a vision of who you want to be and what you want to achieve, no matter how challenging that may be. It's about deciding that you will accept nothing less than your best effort day in and day out. That's how winners think. That's how you build a mindset that doesn't bend in the face of challenges. Understand this, when you set high standards, you are not doing it for anyone else. It's not about impressing people. It's not about conforming to someone else's idea of success. It's about creating a personal contract with yourself, a promise to never lower your expectations, to never settle for mediocrity. This contract holds you accountable when things get difficult. It forces you to rise above excuses, above circumstances, and above setbacks. When you commit to high standards, you can't hide behind comfort or procrastination. You have to show up and give your best every time. When times get tough, when failure seems imminent, or when the pressure mounts, those who have set unbreakable standards will keep moving forward. They will push themselves through the discomfort, the fatigue, and the doubt because their commitment to excellence is unwavering. This level of commitment is what gives you the endurance to face adversity. It's what makes you resilient when everyone else around you is giving up. It's the strength to push through the hardest moments, even when it feels like the world is trying to break you. But don't get it twisted. Setting high standards isn't about perfection. It's about striving for greatness, even when perfection isn't possible. It's about knowing that you will fall short sometimes, but the next day you rise again, determined to do better, to be better. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is the refusal to lower their standards when things get tough. When you set those unbreakable standards, you allow yourself no option but to succeed. Mediocrity becomes an impossibility in your mind because you are too committed to excellence to even entertain the thought of settling for less. You will face obstacles, challenges, and moments where it seems easier to quit. But that's when you lean into your commitment. The moment you decide that failure is not an option, that quitting is out of the question, you begin to develop mental strength like you've never imagined. Your standards become the foundation of your mental toughness. When you hold yourself accountable to those standards, you build a powerful, unshakable mindset that keeps you moving forward no matter what. You're building a life where average has no place and excellence is the only option. So set your standards high and never back down. You have the strength to rise to the challenge, and you owe it to yourself to never settle for anything less than greatness. Failure is an integral part of the journey towards success. It's not something to be avoided, and it's certainly not something to fear. In fact, if you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself to your full potential. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about using failure as a tool, a stepping stone that propels you forward rather than holding you back. Mentally strong individuals don't just accept failure. They actively seek it out, understanding that it's through failure that the greatest lessons are learned. Every setback is an opportunity to grow stronger, smarter, and more capable. It's not about the fall, it's about how you rise. When you experience failure, your instinct might be to retreat, to wallow in frustration or disappointment. But mentally tough people don't let these moments define them. They embrace failure as a part of the process. They know that resilience isn't something that is gifted to you during the easy times. It's forged in the fire of adversity, in the struggle, and in the effort that comes after falling down. You build resilience by getting back up, by continuing to move forward when everything in you wants to quit. That's the real test of mental strength. How you respond to failure, how you use it to fuel your next attempt. Failure also forces you to confront your weaknesses. It exposes the areas in your life where you need to improve, where you need to grow. It's uncomfortable, yes. It's humbling, absolutely, but it's necessary. The only way to become better is to face those areas of weakness head on. And you won't do that if you're always staying in your comfort zone, always playing it safe. Failure pushes you to get uncomfortable, to stretch yourself in ways that success never will. It forces you to adapt, to learn, and to evolve. One of the most powerful lessons failure can teach you is the importance of persistence. Resilience is built through the repeated act of getting back up, time and time again. You may fall down 100 times, but as long as you keep getting back up, you're moving closer to your goals. Failure teaches you that success doesn't come easily. It requires grit, determination, and a refusal to quit no matter how many times you fall. Each time you pick yourself up and keep going, you are reinforcing your mental fortitude. What's important is that you don't just fail, you fail with purpose. Failing faster and smarter means that you approach each failure with the mindset of learning. Analyze what went wrong, identify the lessons you can take away, and then apply those lessons to your next attempt. The quicker you fail, the quicker you can adjust and course correct. And the faster you fail, the faster you can win. So instead of avoiding failure or seeing it as something to be ashamed of, learn to embrace it as an opportunity to grow. The most successful people are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who have failed the most, but have never stopped trying. The greater the failure, the greater the potential for growth. Resilience is built through those moments when everything seems to be falling apart, yet you refuse to break. You push forward, knowing that failure is simply part of the equation. It's not the end, it's just the beginning of something greater. If you want to build real resilience, you need to stop seeing failure as something to fear. Instead, see it as the catalyst that pushes you to be better, to grow, and to achieve more than you ever thought possible. Failure doesn't define you, it refines you. It shapes you into someone who is unbreakable, someone who will stop at nothing to achieve their dreams. Resilience is not something you're born with. It's something you earn through experience, effort, and the relentless pursuit of your goals. Despite the failures along the way, you're not a product of your circumstances. You're the product of your mental toughness. Train your mind and you will learn to overcome anything that stands in your way. If you're serious about leveling up, if you're ready to crush doubt and fear, then it's time to start now. Strengthen your mind and the world will have no choice but to bow before your will. Get out there, win now.